Hi everyone, I'm Aadya Mital and I've secured an All India rank of 41 in the All India Law Entrance Test and a rank of 148 in the Common Law Admission Test. I belong to Faridabad and I study at Delhi Public School Faridabad and I've taken my coaching from the study anchors Faridabad. And this was my first attempt and I prepared for only less than 9 months. तो आज मैं आपको बताने वाली हूँ कि हाउ आई डिड माई प्रेपरेशन स्पेशली इन दैट शॉर्ट पीरियड ऑफ टाइम फॉर दिस एग्जामिनेशन एंड सिक्योर्ड अ डिसेंट रैंक. तो सबसे पहले हमारे क्लैट के एग्जामिनेशन में देयर आर 5 सेक्शंस: इंग्लिश, करंट अफेयर्स, लीगल रीजनिंग, लॉजिकल रीजनिंग एंड क्वांटिटेटिव एप्टीट्यूड. So 3 of these sections are reading based sections and 2 sections are your knowledge based या skill based आप जिसे कह सकते हो. तो first of all for the reading based sections, for English, legal reasoning and logical, that is, the first thing you need to do is get into the habit of reading, because the paper basically consists of 400-500 word passages and it could be like a 40-45 pages thick booklet, right? So you need to be comfortable first of all with reading so much. तो सबसे पहली चीज जो मैं किसी को भी सजेस्ट करूंगी कि start reading the newspaper, because that helps you get into the habit of reading first of all daily, and it also helps you gain a lot of knowledge around the subjects that are usually asked in the examination. For example, economics पे passages अगर आ गए, philosophy पे कई बार आ जाते हैं, politics पे भी आ जाते हैं. So it helps you gain a knowledge base around it, so that when you see such passages in the examination, you don't find it difficult to face them. And I started my preparation in March of 2023 and we had our CLAT exam on 3rd of December. So in less than 9 months, one thing really helped me was that I was in the habit of reading a newspaper from the very beginning, I'd say, because हमारे school में we used to get newspapers, Hindustan Times, school edition or something, and from 9th grade I've been like reading Hindu on a daily basis for like leisure, or you could say whatever. So yeah, that is something that really helped. Secondly, you need to have a good reading speed along with great comprehension. So for that, you can refer to sources such as How to Read Better and Faster. It's a book by Norman Lewis. I think a reading speed of above or around 350 words per minute is a good, comfortable speed at which you will not face much difficulty doing the exam. Then you also need to have a good vocabulary, because the English that is presented in the exam is of quite a good level. So for that, you can refer to Word Power Made Easy. It's also a book by Norman Lewis. So I did that in the very beginning. Then I think that's basically it for like the English specific thing. Then for legal reasoning, you don't really have to read all the laws. हमें सारे law नहीं पढ़ने, because get one thing, हम law पढ़ने के लिए, admission के लिए we're giving the exam, right? So they don't ask us to have any legal knowledge beforehand, and even in the question paper it's written कि you don't have to apply any outside legal knowledge, and you just have to apply the principles जो आपको paper में already given होते हैं. तो आपको उस habit में आना है कि आप legal diction को और जिस तरह से जो लीगल लैंग्वेज होती है ऑफ लाइक लॉ एंड स्टफ, आपको उसके साथ कंफर्टेबल होना है. तो देयर इज अ कपल वेबसाइट्स, आई प्लीडर्स इन लाइव लॉ करके, तो यू कैन रेफर टू देयर आर्टिकल्स 1 or 2 daily. I did that in the beginning for like 3 or 4 months, and after some time I stopped, because after that point I got comfortable with the legal reasoning passages, and it's quite an important part of the paper, because सबसे ज़्यादा weightage आपकी legal reasoning section की होती है. Up to the exam is 120 questions, so you have around 30 to 35 questions of legal reasoning in any like pattern. Then logical reasoning. Now logical reasoning also comprises of 2 parts: critical reasoning and analytical reasoning. The CLAT examination has a critical reasoning heavy logical section, and the AILET examination has quite a mix of both, but I'll say it's heavier on the analytical side. So for the CLAT specific critical reasoning part of it, there's a book by M.K. Pandey for critical and analytical reasoning. So you can do that. It's a great book. it really simplifies all the topics, and what's the premise of an argument, what's the assumption, what's the conclusion. So it starts from the very basics, and it's a comparatively easier book to go through, and it's not that big also. Then you have quantitative aptitudes for maths. Then you have R.S. Agarwal's reasoning book. It's on the bigger side, but I'll say that it helps you get comfortable, and it has a lot of practice questions on the analytical reasoning part. Then comes the GK section and the maths section. So for GK, I have seen people with me who are preparing with me, they used to obsess a lot over GK. कि हमें जोर सोर्स मिला, हमने कर लिया, हमें 4 कंपेंडियम मिली, 5 मिली, किसने कुछ बोल दिया, हमने वही पढ़ना शुरू कर दिया. But I'd say that that's not a very good way to go about it, because GK में ज़्यादा important than coverage, in my opinion, is depth and revision and retention. Because CLAT में आपको एक पैसेज में से, एक टॉपिक के ऊपर आपको एक पैसेज आएगा, and then they'll ask you 5 or 6 questions based on that topic. For example, अगर they've asked Chandrayaan का question, so they'll ask 5 or 6 questions around that topic. इसरो का पूछ लेंगे, चंद्रयान का payloads पूछ लेंगे. So you need to have a deeper, not in just surface level coverage won't do. You need to have a deeper understanding of the topics and the subject as a whole. So I'll say stick to like 1 or 2 compendiums at the maximum, because every compendium is doing their best to cover the whole GK of the whole year, right? So 1 or 2 compendiums should suffice, and you should be done with 3 or 4 revisions of the same. And I'll also say that you should make notes, but notes को बहुत ज़्यादा fancy करने की ज़रूरत नहीं है. They should just be इतना that आपको समझ आता है, right? You can also make notes from the newspapers. I personally didn't do that, but I've seen people do that and it helped. So yeah, you could do that. Then I also used to refer to this GK Today website. They have daily 5 or 6 current affairs questions, one-liners. So they're really helpful in AILET specifically, because AILET only asks one-liners, and like CLAT, they have passage-based GK. So GK Today. Then I also used to practice GMAT passages. They have a variety of topics, and you'll find passages of different difficulty levels, right? So I used to practice like 3 or 4 passages a day, especially like science-based passages. I used to have a lot of difficulty understanding and just doing the science wala passages. So I just on a daily basis, I used to do 700 difficulty level science passages. I did that until and unless I felt like अब मेरे को कोई भी साइंस का पैसेज दे दो पेपर में, अब I won't be uncomfortable with it, right? So I did that. Then GK के लिए I think इतना complicated है नहीं जितना लोग उसको बना देते हैं, because 2023 के पेपर में GK was kind of unexpected. Like it wasn't like the years before it जो सबने expect करा था. तो 23 was kind of a bouncer, but then 24 you saw सारे passages में ही they gave the answers. So a lot of people also panicked seeing that, because they were like अब तो सारे answers passages में ही हैं, तो it really doesn't make a difference. So yeah, that's something that you shouldn't उसको ego पे नहीं लेना है अपना कि, and especially that happens a lot in the reading sections and the math section as well, कि if हमारा अगर कोई strong section होता है तो हम सोचते हैं कि यार ये वाला तो हमसे पूरा हो ही जाना चाहिए, ये question तो मुझसे हो ही जाना चाहिए, because especially for maths, I'll say in my case कि maths was my strongest section, right? So it used to happen a lot in mocks that I'm doing a maths का passage and there are some questions जो आपको सिर्फ वहाँ पे अटकाने के लिए बने होते हैं, and you have to leave them, right? And I used to take it on my ego कि अच्छा नहीं maths का question है, maths का question मुझसे कैसे नहीं होगा, मैं सबके doubt solve कर रही हूँ and मुझसे ही question ही नहीं हो रहा है. So you have to really move on from that, right? Because वो आपके पास 2 ही घंटे हैं, उसमें you have to do 150 questions or up 120 questions, and every question carries 1 mark itself. It doesn't matter आपने कौन से section में करा, right? So yeah, and coming to the math section of course. So I've seen like a lot of people, mostly people that are preparing for law entrance, they are usually not that good at maths. So, but I was thankfully. So I'll say that a big aspect of why that is because like when I was in 4th or 5th grade school में से, we used to have a lot of Aryabhat competitions. Basically it's like a maths competition where they teach you higher level maths, and then Ramanujan competitions, a lot of Olympiads. I used to be very active in all those. So I was comfortable with maths from a very young age. So I'll say that that really helped, and especially that I had commerce in my 11th and 12th grade along with maths. So it was also something that I really had to balance it with my CLAT preparation, because I had to give 6-7 hours daily to my CLAT. Then uske saath you have to go to school, you have examinations, and maths, 11th 12th ka maths is also not that easy. Like, you have to give time to it, right? So that is something that is very important to balance, and I'd say that I got a lot of support from my school too, that they didn't pressurize me ki nahi, you have to give all the unit tests, you have to attend all the classes, because I told them ki ma'am, acha, I'm preparing for this exam, and they believed in me, and that really helped me give like a peace of mind that okay, I'm not under undue stress from my school for boards, etc. Because now we have ample time. We have a good 3 months to prepare for boards, right? So yeah, that's that. Now coming to the AILET exam. AILET को मैंने शुरू से ही, like I had this कि मेरे को NU Delhi जाना है, but AILET exam को मैंने शुरू से ही I saw it as as a test of luck, क्योंकि it's like 50 seats, right? And the paper doesn't really have a pattern. It's like you just go and all the instructions says that it will be 2 hours, 150 questions, and they'll be in English. उसके सिवाय आपको कुछ भी नहीं पता, मतलब, and you just know कि अच्छा English section में इतने questions आने हैं, logical में इतने, and GK में इतने, right? बाकी they can give you anything. So you have to really be prepared for anything and everything that the exam throws your way. But I'll say that AILET exam specifically, when I gave the AILET 2023 ka paper as a mock, so I was really excited to see the paper, because all the topics that the passages were there, because it was a different paper than the usual AILET pattern before that, right? They gave logical and English questions from the same passage. So it was not something that anybody would have expected. But because I didn't have any preconceived notions or expectations from the paper beforehand, so I didn't face much difficulty doing that. And I was because आपको diverse reading की भी इसमें एक habit चाहिए होती है, because they'll give you passages up Formula 1 racing पे, then monarchy and primogeniture and ultimogeniture. So these are some words, if you're seeing them for the first time, आप उतना comfortable एकदम से उसके साथ नहीं हो पाओगे. So yeah, AILET में I'll say that my biggest strength was कि I was excited to give the paper and I had fun giving it. So that is something that really helped, because you have to enjoy the process. If you're not, अगर आपको वो करने में मजा नहीं आ रहा है, and it'll just feel like work, right? After like some point, even after after I was done with my exam, मैं उस process में और मैं उस routine में इतना mold हो चुकी थी कि मेरे को CLAT के लिए और AILET के ना पढ़ना, it felt new and it felt boring at the beginning, I'll be very honest. So yeah, AILET के लिए, yeah, you have to prepare a lot in the logical reasoning part and GK के one-liners. So GK one-liners also you will find compilations, good compilations from many institutes. Just do them thoroughly and just revise them. बाकी AILET में GK they don't give that difficult, but they could make it difficult any year, right? So yeah, and उसमें AILET में especially the pattern was changed this year, right? Well, we used to have 1.5 hours for 150 questions. Now we've had 2 hours for 150 questions. So yeah, I think that that made the paper kind of easy, because the 2024 paper was not like the 23 paper. It was something like the 22 paper. Just the fact that we had 2 hours to solve it rather than 1.5 hours, right? So that's why the cutoffs were also a bit higher. So CLAT का भी जैसे हमने इस साल देखा, the pattern was changed. तो हमने किसी ने भी इस पैटर्न का पेपर पहले नहीं देखा था, तो it was going to be a surprise for us. And yeah, CLAT examination सबके लिए ही surprise था, because nobody would have expected इतना आसान पेपर आ जाएगा. That English के passages were like 200 words, and we had a poetry का passage भी they gave us, and the number of passages were also, they were quite less. So you have to be ready for the difficult passages, लेकिन आपको easier side के पेपर के लिए भी ready रहना पड़ता है, because जब हम prepare कर रहे होते हैं तो all the coaching institutes, everything, वो हमें इतना डिफिकल्ट मटेरियल और इतना डिफिकल्ट मॉक्स वगैरह देते हैं कि हम ये कई बार भूल जाते हैं कि पेपर आसान भी आ सकता है, एंड हम कई बार आसान पेपर में गलती कराते हैं, जो हमें टॉपिक्स या क्वेश्चंस आते हैं हम वो गलत कर देते हैं. सो आई थिंक दैट इज समथिंग यू शुड बी कॉशियस ऑफ. तो अब अगर हम स्ट्रैटेजी पार्ट देखें तो आई विल से दैट क्लैट और एलिट एग्जाम में आप क्या, बिकॉज इनका कोई सेट सिलेबस नहीं है, तो आपको बस स्किल होनी चाहिए. आपको रीडिंग सेक्शंस कैसे सॉल्व करने हैं, आपको मैथ्स कैसे सॉल्व करनी है, देयर आर सम टॉपिक्स और आपको उनको ही सॉल्व करना आना चाहिए. जीके को छोड़ के बाकी चारों सेक्शंस ऐसे नहीं है जिसके लिए आपको जैसे स्कूल के एग्जाम में होता है कि आपको सिलेबस दे दिया, आपने पढ़ लिया, याद कर लिया और आप पेपर दे के आ गए, आपके मार्क्स आ गए. दैट्स नॉट हाउ इट वर्क्स, राइट? तो आपका जो साइकोलॉजिकली यू हैव टू बी वेरी रेडी फॉर इट, बिकॉज आपको कुछ भी क्वेश्चंस फेस करने के लिए आपको रेडी रहना पड़ता है. बिकॉज बहुत बार जैसे 4 ऑप्शंस आपको दिए हैं तो अ लॉट ऑफ टाइम्स इट विल हैपन कि आप 2 ऑप्शंस में यू विल गेट वेरी कंफ्यूज. सो उसके लिए द बेस्ट थिंग इज कि आप मॉक्स दो. आई गिव लाइक more than 75 mocks for CLAT in 9 months and more than 15 mocks for AILET. So आप mocks दो, and mock देने से ज़्यादा important है कि आप mocks को analyze करो. आपने एक एक क्वेश्चन में आपकी उसमें रीजनिंग क्या थी, देन आंसर में उसने रीजनिंग क्या दी हुई है, एंड व्हाट वाज द गैप, एंड उसको आप गैप को आप ब्रिज कर पाओ. सो दैट इज रियली इंपॉर्टेंट टू डू. एंड मॉक्स भी इट्स रियली इंपॉर्टेंट कि आप उसी टाइम फ्रेम में दो. जैसे अगर 2 to 4 आपका क्लैट का पेपर है तो इट्स वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट कि आप जितने मॉक्स दे रहे हो जितना हो सके आप उसे 2 to 4 के स्लॉट में दो. बिकॉज इट्स समटाइम्स वो लिथार्जिक वाला टाइम हो जाता है, दोपहर को सब थोड़ा ऐसे आलस में आ जाते हैं. सो यू हैव टू बी संडे, बिकॉज इट्स संडे 2 to 4 इट्स द पीक लेजर टाइम ऑफ द वीक, राइट? तो आपको उस टाइम पे अपना पीक परफॉर्मेंस लेवल पे रहना है. सो यू हैव टू प्रिपेयर फॉर दैट. एंड AILET जैसे अगर 11 to 1 है तो you have to give AILET mocks from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. It's non-negotiable, and you have to adjust all your eating habits and your sleep cycle according to that. And sleep is also a very important factor, because I've seen a lot of people around me कि हम तो 2 घंटे सो रहे हैं, हम तो 4 घंटे सो रहे हैं, हम तो नहीं हमने तो 12 घंटे पढ़ लिया. I'll say that कितनी देर आप पढ़ रहे हो उससे ज़्यादा फर्क पड़ता है. आप कम देर में अगर आप ज़्यादा काम कर पा रहे हो तो that's better for you. And just sleep for me was non-negotiable. I had to had a good 8 hours sleep before my mocks, and before the exam also I slept a good 8 hours. I had a good night's sleep. And yeah, now if you come to the exam day, so CLAT exam se ek hafta pehle I was almost done with everything. Like I had to study because I used to plan a lot in advance. Like I had a 3-monthly plan, I had a monthly plan, I had a weekly plan, and I also used to plan my days. The previous night, sone se pehle, I just used to make a list of things I need to do the next day, and I'll also tick off the tasks I have done for the day. So it really helped me to just go to sleep peacefully, and the next morning I didn't have to make any decisions because मेरे को पता था कि मेरे को आज के दिन में क्या काम करना है. So that was something, वो decision fatigue उस चीज़ को avoid करने के लिए that is something I did. Then yeah, coming to the CLAT exam day, so I was done with everything I had to do 1 week before the exam. I think 26th November तक. So 26th November to 3rd December, all I did was revise GK, and I revised थोड़े से logical reasoning के topics, maths के थोड़े बहुत formulas, and I was in a very calm, peaceful state of mind before even like 1 week before the exam. Like मैंने पेपर से पिछले दिन I was watching movies, and then I slept आराम से 8 घंटे. सुबह उठ के like I had breakfast, and then I got ready 1 घंटा पहले. तो I was like अब मैं क्या करूँ. तो I also had a nap half an hour धूप में सुबह like 12 बजे, and then like 12 o'clock I left from my home, and 12:30 I reached the center. Then 1 o'clock we got seated in the exam hall, and I could also see the fear on people's faces, exam hall के बाहर, and even inside the exam, right? So it's really important to smile in those moments and realize कि जहाँ पे सब लोग डर रहे हैं, जहाँ पे सब लोग थोड़े से एंग्शियस और नर्वस हैं, अगर वहाँ पे आप अपना पीस ऑफ माइंड और अपना कूल और काम आप रह के पेपर दे सकते हो, तो that's a really big win. So yeah, I think that is what I did, And CLAT exam ke din to even, because we were seated before 1:15 in the exam hall, and we got the paper at 1:15, 1:45, and for like a good 45 minutes, all we had to do was sit there and stare at our desks and everything. So उस आप 45 मिनट्स में आप कुछ भी सोच सकते हो. तो पर्सनली what I did was मैं गाने गुनगुनाई थी अपने दिमाग में, and till 2 o'clock I was very chill. मैंने अपना I was like chilling दिमाग में अपना. Then 2 o'clock I opened the paper. First thing I saw, the paper wasn't lengthy. That was one thing जिसके बारे में I was थोड़ा worried कि because if the paper was lengthy, there is a chance कि paper छूट जाएगा. And math section, because 2023 का maths was थोड़ा सा messed up. They got questions wrong, so I was like, I don't want to waste my time वहाँ पे. So yeah, I did that, and I was quite happy with the CLAT exam because I couldn't have done anything more after that, right? And even the AILET exam, I didn't have any expectations from the AILET exam. As I said before, I wanted to go to NLU Delhi, but I just saw it more of as a test of luck. That आप जाओ पेपर में, anything कुछ भी आ सकता है, आप देके, it's like I just gave it for fun and आ जाओ. Obviously I prepared for it, but when I was giving the exam, I took it as if I was giving it for fun, and I gave the exam. I was quite happy, and exam hall के बाहर ही आके मैंने first thing I said to my papa was like, पापा हो जाएगा. So, and yeah, I think it's really also very important to have a good support system around you, so that आपका environment should be conducive enough जिससे आप जो करना चाह रहे हो आप वो कर पाओ. And I'll say that a really big role in that was first of all my parents, because for the 9-10 months if I told someone कि मेरे को किसी और चीज में मतलब I don't want to be involved, मेरे को family gathering में अगर नहीं जाना, या फिर I used to sleep at 4 AM and then I used to wake up at 12 and give mocks at 2 to 4, तो पूरा eating schedule, sleeping schedule, सब कुछ was molded, and my family was really supportive and they were with me through that. So and every 2 or 3 weeks I'll had a breakdown कि पापा पता नहीं कैसे होगा क्या होगा, तो at 12 बज रहे कुछ भी हो रहा है, and my papa is just like अच्छा कोई बात नहीं हो जाएगा कर लेंगे. So I think that's really important. And then my mentors, especially at the study anchor, Mudit Chaudhary sir, Sarthak Chaudhary sir, and my maths teacher Vaibhav sir. So yeah, all these people were really important part of my journey because they helped me plan things, and they had been in this thing for way longer, right? They were experienced. So their guidance and their insights were really helpful. Mocks कैसे analyze करने हैं, क्या पढ़ना है इससे ज़्यादा important उसे कैसे पढ़ना है. So that is something that Mudit Chaudhary sir really helped me with. And we also used to have like good discussions on Sundays after our mocks about everything, like emotional आपका state कैसा है, पढ़ाई के बारे में भी कैसा है, how you feeling, like even before the exam I remember Mudit sir called me and the first thing was like, how are you feeling, AILET से पहले, CLAT से पहले. And I think that's really important to focus there, because पढ़ाई I'll say is only 1/3 of your result. 1/3 is like what your emotional and mental state is during that 2 hours, and 1/3 is also paper कैसा आ गया ना, आपका luck कैसा है. So all these factors combined, when they all work together in harmony, तभी कुछ result आता है. So yeah, I'm really thankful to everyone who was with me in this journey. Yeah, and my parents, family, mentors, school teachers, and my friends especially, because we used to study together, analyze mocks together, do GK together. So that was also something that kept me going. I was looking forward to giving mocks and doing GK with my friends. So that was kind of a driving factor. So all these things combined, when they work together, that is when you see results. It's not just the work of one person. It's not like you're working in a vacuum. And I'm so thankful for the environment I got. And yeah, I wish you all the best if you're preparing. So yeah, thank you.